Test, test, test. Give me a Lima Charlie if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Give me a Lima Charlie if you guys can hear me loud and clear, man. Hopefully y'all having a good day. You know what I'm saying? Early start to the week. All that good stuff. We're just kind of getting it started, man. And I know this is not, we have folks that have already, who've heard of the JoeX situation. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about just kind of everything that's going on with that and kind of see where y'all sit with that and talk about my thoughts behind it. Cause I've had a couple of days to kind of digest what's going on. And, you know, it just, I don't know, you know, I got some thoughts to talk about it, man. So first off, shout out to everybody kicking the goddamn door in. It is freaking 2200 here Central Time. I wanted to kind of do a time that it was, you know, late-ish for the East Coast, still early enough for the people on the West Coast, people that are overseas, just like a time that might work for everybody. If you don't get to catch this live, I'm recording it. We'll chop this up. We'll post it on my page as well and all of that good stuff. Appreciate all the confirmations that I'm seeing, man. All of that is fantastic here, man. Freaking Eraser Tech is giving a confirmation. We got Heavy Metal giving a confirmation. Pittman giving a confirmation of everything else as well. We appreciate all that, y'all. We do appreciate stuff like that. So make sure that if you have like a specific question or comment, first off, Tater Don, man, thanks for kicking the goddamn door in. Hopefully things are well with you. We appreciate that, man. Corey, what up, man? Thanks for kicking the door in. Hopefully you're having a good one. And Gary is here as well, saying good evening to everybody. Everybody kind of having a good old time, kind of vibing out, chilling out, and all of that good stuff. David, thanks for stopping by, sir. Thanks for being a goddamn member. We appreciate that, man. Saying good afternoon. Where you at? Saying good afternoon. It's still afternoon for you. You know what I'm saying? For us, it's almost that guy. It's almost skin 30. It's almost time for you to go 20 toes with Mrs. X. You know what I'm talking about? It's almost that time. Hey, make sure you slap that like button, man. Put me in the algorithm, man, just in case other folks want to check this stuff out. We'll talk about first. Get some more time for some more folks to get up in here. And you know, it's a lot of places y'all could be right now, but for some reason you decided to kick the door in here. We appreciate stuff like that. So first off, I guess we'll talk about what I'm carrying, man. It's not really going to change for a good minute. You're in Australia. Got it. Wow. Okay, very well. Got it. So I guess I could say that, so today's carry is still the Hogue Deca. This is the modified Warney, the 20 CV. Made in America steel, made in America knife. Oh my God, I got crap on my shit. Anyway, I've been enjoying this thing. I've been trying to find a new love for this with their Able lock system. Super, you know, super similar to Benchmade's Axis lock. And of course, since the patent went out on that, or the, you know, people just kind of been doing their own thing. They call theirs the Able lock, which is still the same concept and all that good stuff. This is a great, fantastic blade. I love these contoured G10 scales on this shit. This shit just gets grandpa excited. You know, mainly we're talking about the knives and stuff like that because that is what our boy JoeX was all about. You know what I'm saying? He was about that knife, the beating up of the knives. We'll talk about all that good stuff here in a second as well, but he didn't play around with that, okay? Did not play around with that type of stuff. So I've been enjoying this quite a bit. I guess the biggest thing about this is for the Hogue Deca itself. I like the fact that it is made in America. I like the fact that it does have like this modified clip or tip, which makes it a little bit easier whenever I'm trying to get into situations like zip ties and cutting that type of stuff off in really thin places because of the shape of the blade. So I'm a big fan of that overall. Let me know what you guys carry today. Let me know what you guys carry today. I'm still rocking my Vertex trousers, which allows for me to have all sorts of stuff in the pocket. Another thing in the pocket I'm a huge fan of, Leatherman Free P4. If you were on the live stream yesterday, I mentioned I wanted to do my modification and kind of get rid of some tools of it. And went ahead and knocked that out, man. So now we have a full size 4mm bit driver, 1/4 bit driver, which now allows for me to put regular bits in here. I can also use those micro bits you find in some of those like kits we use to fix our knives and shit like that, right? But we got that here. So I'm loving that modification. It still works with the lock of the Free P4, which I like a lot. So it works with the lock. And so that's a fantastic move. And then I had to make a sacrifice of an actual a Leatherman curl. And I wanted the diamond file out of the Leatherman curl, but now I have the diamond file goodness of the Leatherman curl. And I'm a big fan of this overall as well because I got rid of some tools I wasn't using. Got rid of the separated blade, which I didn't use very often. I don't work with rope very much. The closest to rope I work with often is paracord, which I can just cut with a regular knife. So I've been a big fan of keeping my multi-tool in my pocket this winter. Still rocking the Nikkor EDC 33 with the Lumen Shield technology. I have just been freaking creaming all over this goddamn flashlight. I love the lock mechanism. This shit doesn't turn on in my pocket accidentally anymore. That's probably like my favorite feature of it. All sorts of modes, great battery. It's just a great flashlight overall. And that's really it. Other than the wallet, we're still rocking the Axwell like we mentioned yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So the wallet probably won't change for a while. Still rocking the Axwell copper wallet, getting a lot of patina on there, starting to, you know, wearing away the word Axwell. But overall, just a great little wallet to rock out and kind of keep everything else. And that's it, man. Only other thing in the pocket is a Zippo that's always in my pocket, which I normally will use a couple of times a day. It's kind of in the fifth pocket of these Vertex trousers. But I keep a brass lighter by Zippo with a butane insert because I do smoke sticks, but also start fires. I barbecue today. I like to barbecue in the winter whenever we get any type of decent weather. But today was one of those days where the ignition switch on my Weber grill was not working. I have a charcoal grill with a propane start, and the propane start wasn't working, so I had to, you know, old school with a piece of, you know, some newspaper in there underneath the coals, get that going. So nice little carry, kind of make some things happen, man. Let me know what you guys carry today. Folks had the Spyderco Mannix in the pocket today. Fantasticness, man. The Spyderco Mannix. What else we got here? I thought I saw the Civivi Praxis and an Olight Baton 4. You got the whole Pro system set up there with the Baton 4, or did you just have the flashlight itself? Which one you rocking? Let me get your comment here. But what is the brand of the copper wallet? I love copper. The brand is Axwell. The brand is Axwell. Is the brand of the wallet. They here, I'll throw a link in the chat for you. They when they first started, I wasn't the biggest fan of the wallet at first. I just wasn't. I thought that they could get a lot better work. I thought that they could definitely I thought they were overpriced. And then I really started to sit back and think about it. And a portion of their sales goes towards veterans organizations, and they've dropped the prices on a lot of their stuff. So like when I got this copper wallet, they sent it to me, but when I first checked it out, the copper wallet was like $120. It has since come down to, I think, like $79 or something like that. Here, let's check it out. I'll throw a link in here for you. But so I thought that that was pretty cool of them to actually get a little bit better about their products and stuff overall, and kind of just make it a little bit better accessible for us overall. So here's the Axwell wallet. Right now it's being $79. That's better than the list price, which was $125. I didn't like that shit, but the price just keeps coming down. And I'm a big fan. Look at these reviews, 1,132 reviews. It's pretty good. That's not bad. So yeah, check them out, man, if you want to check that out. Mini bug out with the Flytanium scales, and he also has a titanium pineapple mini for me today. The mini is a flashlight, right? That's not a nice bet. Not bad at all. Let's see what else we got going on here in y'all's pockets. It is 22:03 where you're at. So you're Central Time, Jonathan. You're right alongside of me. You're right alongside. Oh, you're up there in Canada. Okay. You know what I'm saying? We respect our good neighbors to the north. Have you seen the original Gov't scales for the Deca? Yeah, I have. So I bought this Deca on base, and they have the original. They have a lot of different variations of the Deca. I don't know if all the blades still. I know some of them are Magna Cut, but I think, do they all start at 20 CV? No, nothing's lower than that. Around the world in 80 days says JoeX rocks. Yeah, let's get to that, man. Let's talk about JoeX, man. Actually says, do you like the bug out more? Do I like the Deca more than the bug out? That's a good question. That's a good question. I guess I would say I like it a lot. I like the scales more than the bug out. I guess if I was honest, I like the action of the bug out more. Like the axis lock works better, but everything else about the Deca makes me feel better. If that makes sense. So yeah, man. So let's just jump into it, man. So first off, you know, who is JoeX? Who is JoeX? JoeX he is a YouTuber. I'm not gonna say was. He is a YouTuber who he tests knives. He tests a lot of fixed blade knives. Okay. He tests a lot of fixed blade knives, whether companies sent the knives to him or he would acquire them on his own or whatever the case may be. But he was all about testing knives until they came to a certain destruction point. Like, could he get a knife to a certain point of destruction? Here's a video here of JoeX, and I'll play this on mute and just kind of let it play in the background. But he would just basically take knives and see how far could he push them. He's taking them through water bottles, stuff that we expect a knife to be able to do, a full bottle of water, stuff like that. But he's also stabbing a car multiple times over and over with a knife to see how much until it breaks and withstands. He is shooting a knife with shotguns. He's running them over. He is doing all sorts of stuff with them. And he gained popularity just for some of the, you know, seemingly quirky stuff he was doing. You know, he would work out he would go running with no shirt on, wearing a gas mask. He would jump in an ice lake like he's doing right here, and it would be literally iced over. And it's crazy because it's just like, man, who is this freaking Austrian? Is he military? Is he prior military? Like, what does he do? What is his motivation? Why is he doing all this stuff? And so he kind of gained the notoriety for being that guy that can put stuff through the test. We all remember the cheesy Cold Steel commercials on YouTube, right? Sometimes they would do late night commercials as well on real TV, but they would do late night. Cold Steel had those cheesy ass commercials where they would take a sword and slice a pig or slice bamboo and do all sorts of stuff. Well, he took the stuff to the next level and stabbing it and stuff like that. Here in this video, Dutch brothers, Dutch bushcraft knives, DBK, sent a knife out to him for him to destroy. You know what I really liked about him is that when I would check out his videos, if the knife was destroyed, I knew it was a knife I wanted to purchase. Because if the knife didn't get destroyed, it meant it was a pry bar. That means the knife was too goddamn strong. Like at a certain point, all knives, all heat treatments, they should fail. Full tank, I don't care what they are, right? If they don't, then that was one thing that he would talk about sometimes. Is like, you know, some of his preliminary tests, absolutely they should not fail. But, you know, once he starts putting them through shotgun shells and stuff like that, if the knife doesn't fail, that's an issue. And that's the type of stuff that I would look for. He was the reason I bought my first Cold Steel knife. His last name, you know, he got X in his name, you know what I'm saying? Makes me feel good inside. But, you know, there was an allegation that came out. He came out with this video approximately this came out on February 1st. He dropped this video where he says JoeX is dead, adios amigos. And I watched the video, and the video kind of was very vague. Okay, the allegation was that somebody was blackmailing him. The video was published February 1st, and he said he would not. These are the words that he said in this video. He said, quote, I've decided to shut down my channel. I will not be able to do videos again. Now, he said those specific words, and I'm like, huh, okay. So when I hear that type of language from a YouTuber, I'm thinking they did not get shut down by YouTube, because if you get shut down by YouTube, your shit just disappears, right? There's not like a goodbye message. So when he says I'm being blackmailed and all this type of stuff, it kind of makes me think like, man, this might be some serious shit. And he came to a decision to stop doing videos for whatever reason. It was so vague. People were wondering, are these knife companies that are mad at him? Are these haters? Is it his job finding out the goofy shit is doing on his property? Is he still in the military? Isn't he? You know what I'm saying? So all these people had all this like different speculation. And when it comes speculation, it leads people to kind of just think of stuff on their own of like what it could be. Like, what could it be? What was the final thing that it was? And so for me personally, when he said that he was no longer going to be doing videos, I thought, man, this is some serious shit. Maybe something from his past. Maybe he has a super good job and the shit that he's doing is just, they don't like that type of stuff. So then I pulled up his page the other day and I saw that it just simply said code still destruction until it breaks. And it says 132 videos unavailable or hidden. So when I see this type of stuff, I went on my channel and I hid a bunch of videos just to test it out. I hid videos versus deleted videos. So when I hid my videos, they showed up just like this. So what that lead me to believe is like, okay, he didn't delete them. That's good. He just hid them. We can't watch them, but they still exist. So if and when everything clears up, he should be able to, he should have the ability to come on back to the YouTube's university. Of course, the community was, first off, it was a lot of rank speculation. There was a lot of people who were just wondering like, what the hell happened? A lot of people reflexively were in his corner, or reflexively like, just like, you know, basically, for lack of a better term, was kind of like, fuck the popo, right? It was just a lot of like, we're behind you. Reflexively, I was in the same space. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what's going on, but that's kind of messed up. If someone's blackmailing you for whatever reason, it's jeopardizing your job, your livelihood, your property, your ownership of something, that's an issue. Dozens of videos made by different creators. And Michael Emmer, we got JS Bladecraft, Shed Knives, a knife maker, CEO of Shed Knives. We got Choir Boys Outdoors, all sorts of Neves Knives, all sorts of people were pumping out content in regards to JoeX. I was like, look at this community support. This is really good. But I watched a lot of these videos and it was a lot of speculation. People were trying to reach out to him. He wasn't really responding to everyone. People didn't really have his email. So folks were just trying their best to get in touch with him. And so I thought to myself, well, I think this is pretty good. But I do believe that most people are wildly speculating, and also a lot of people are just making videos to make videos. But I get it. Content is content. Content is king. I can respect the hustle. Here comes February 5th, which was yesterday. He drops a video, says, channel update, what actually happened. You not like you thought. If you watch this 39-minute video, I think you will be left, and the links to these videos are in the description of this live stream. If you watch this 39-minute video like I did, I watched it twice. I think you may be left confused because it seems like JoeX was mentioning a lot of things that may be happening, but he really wasn't giving us the meat and potatoes. First off, he unequivocally let it be known that it was not a knife company that was coming at his jugular, which gave us a sigh of relief because we just thought it was some goddamn knife company that were freaking poo-pooing everything that he did in the past. And they had an issue with it. And he started mentioning a lot of different topics. If you go watch this video, and I ask you to watch this on your own, form your own opinion. But these are some notes that I took when I was listening to the video itself. He mentioned freedom of speech. It's important. He mentioned guns on his property, shooting guns on his property. He mentioned just carrying guns on the property. He mentioned local haters. He used local haters in his town. He also mentioned people moving from the city to the country because he lives in the country. He mentioned maybe people have issues with him stabbing stuff. He also mentioned blackmail. So he gave us a lot to chew on. I mean, he gave us a lot of stuff to chew on. So, I was thinking to myself like, well, okay. So the video that he put out on, the video that he put out such and such amount of time was blackmail. You won, I'm done. And then this video just left me thoroughly confused. It took me to the actual State Department's website. So I was wondering like, well, before I just kind of like come to a conclusion, like what is it, right? So the State Department has a list of the freedoms that Austria has. He lives in Austria. So one of the things that I highlighted was the respect for civil liberties. They have a freedom of expression, including members of the press and other media. The Constitution provides freedom of expression, including for the press and other media, and the government generally respected that. An independent media and an effective judiciary, a functioning democratic political system to promote freedom of expression, etc., etc. Basically, they don't have a First Amendment, but they have similar free speech that we do. The only thing that they prohibit is that you're not allowed to deny that the Holocaust existed. That's the one thing that you can get your ass wrapped up for in Austria. Okay. So I was like, okay. So maybe it's not freedom of speech, because they seem to have a pretty, they seem to respect civil liberties. So then I thought to myself, maybe their gun laws are shitty, because he mentioned that people may have an issue that he's on his own property shooting guns. And he said he wished he lived in Texas or Alabama. He heard they're great. You're right, JoeX. I live in Texas and it is freaking awesome. But he said, maybe people have an issue with him shooting guns on his own property. So then I looked up the gun laws in Austria. And Austria is considered to have the most relaxed gun laws in the European Union. Once you turn 18, Austria has a shall issue policy. If you come to the Austrian government and say, I want a gun for self-defense, they shall issue you a permit. It is freaking, that sounds pretty awesome. And that you only have to register certain type of guns. And as long as your shotgun is not repeating, it doesn't need a license. And another thing about Austria's gun laws is that once you have a gun license, you can carry a gun anywhere that's public. They have very few gun-free zones. And even in those weapon-free zones, you're still allowed to carry a weapon. Like, they have very liberal gun laws. But they do have a couple of rules that kind of drew my attention. First off, if you're a hunter, while you're hunting, you can only carry a hunting rifle on the property that you're hunting on, okay, without permission. Secondly, even though publicly you can carry a gun wherever you want, for private property, say for instance you guys want to come here, if you want to carry your gun on my private property in Austria, you have to get my written permission, and the entire time you're on my property, you have to maintain that written permission. I was like, this is pretty cool. So basically, I'm going to pick up my kid from school, I can stay strapped. I'm going to the grocery store, I can stay strapped. If I'm going to the library, I can stay strapped. This is pretty good stuff. They do ban automatic weapons similar to what we do here, but I mean, you can keep an AR next to the bed. The only thing they're super anal about is how you store guns when there are children around, which I think is correct, right? Don't want freaking crumb snatchers getting on a weapon that has no safety, like my Saturday night special, and putting one through the, brain housing group. We don't want that happening. So I was thinking to myself, okay, if somebody has an issue with guns, they have such these very liberal gun laws. So what would be the issue with someone seeing him shoot guns on his own property? Their gun laws are so liberal that even if anybody in chat or if myself wanted to go visit Austria, I can apply for a permit and bring my own damn gun to Austria and carry it around. Like, they are very, very pro guns there. So I thought to myself, okay, well, maybe that's not it, right? They don't differentiate between open carry and concealed carry. They don't have any of those type of things. So then I thought, well, maybe they have the same type of rules we have. Maybe they have rules where, I live in Texas, and when I'm in the city limits, I can't discharge a weapon unless, I'm actually defending myself, and I can't discharge a weapon within 200 feet of a building. So I was like, oh, maybe he has those rules. But it's pretty clear that Joe lives in some big property, and his property overall is pretty freaking expansive. Okay. I mean, his property he doesn't really have any issues with spacing. He seems to have plenty of room, plenty of just spacing in all sorts of places he can go. So I didn't think that was an issue. Plus, he kept mentioning over and over and over again that this is his property, and this is, he had no issues with that. So put in the chat what you guys think happened, because I'm going to tell you why I love JoeX. Then I'm going to tell you why no one's above reproach, to include me. So first off, I love JoeX because he gave 0 Fs when it came to companies in their knives. Whether they sent them to him, he acquired them himself, whatever. He did not care if you clutched your pearls because he was doing weird shit with your fucking knives. I thought that was admirable. I thought that was pretty awesome. I'm not going to be buying my stuff and torture testing it because I'm not made of money. Ain't no way I'm buying a Kaiser or a Cold Steel, a DBK, or any knife and then running out to my hunting property and running it through an old Dodge truck 100 times to see for it to break. But I commend you for doing it because you helped me make decisions in regards to things like Cold Steel, etc., etc. You know, I also thought he was really good for people that were trying to make knife decision purposes, because as I mentioned earlier, if a knife broke after his testing, the extreme testing, that was probably a knife that you might want to pick up, because if it did not break, it was a pry bar. It was a pry bar. You don't want that knife. You want your knife to not for, you know, forever, to have a breaking point. I love the fact that he seemed to be brutally honest, and I thought that was pretty sweet. Okay, thought that was pretty dope. But here's the things that make me draw pause, and I want to know what you guys' thoughts about this. Is like, overall, if you watch that 39-minute video, I think everyone should have a lot of self-confidence when it comes to themselves. But this video, I don't know if it's because of the frustration he has in the background of what's going on, or if he just he thinks very highly of himself, which is healthy. But it seemed to be like it was out there during this video. He was all over the map. And it was kind of like, I wasn't really sure what to think. He bragged about how much money he has. He bragged about how big his property was. He bragged about how many languages he can speak. He was shitting on people that moved from the city to the country. He was shitting on people that already lived in the country and they were local haters. He was upset at people watching him from his property and possibly calling the police. But he also mentioned that maybe it was people online that reported to YouTube. And I just didn't, I wasn't, you know, reflexively, I believe that it had to be someone that was reporting him and that his property was being put in jeopardy, right? If someone calls the police because a freaking man's running in underwear with a gas mask on, you know, maybe that's a reason to call the police in Austria. I don't know. If someone ran down my street right now and he was still wearing his goddamn Scooby-Roos and the gas mask, I'm gonna let him make it. Because me personally, where I come from in Cleveland, Ohio, you let people make it. You don't freaking, there's just no reason to snitch. But maybe that's just what they do in Austria. I don't know. But it felt weird because a year ago, his channel was he also had to shut down his channel for a brief period of time. And that seemed to be YouTube driven. So this is what I would suggest. I just think that we need to pump the brakes to get more information about what may have happened. Because whenever you have a content creator that you really like, sometimes you're blinded by the joy that they bring you. That can include someone like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, you know, you can find out that I'm out here. Let's just find out I'm out here, you know, running through females, cheating on my wife profusely. I'm not, but let's just say it is. And one of them is blackmailing me. I come out with the same video. You guys are just white knighting for me, and I appreciate that. And then you find out that I just been freaking dragon slaying vagina. And some of y'all been like, man, that's kind of fucked up, X. You know what I'm saying? You got me out here white knighting for you, out here committing adultery. You're doing this, you're doing that. So it made me draw pause. And here's my final take, okay? This is my final take on the situation is, you know, this is either the laws or the rules of Austria that we don't know about. He doesn't know about all the rules here in America. I don't know about all the rules in goddamn Connecticut. I live in Texas. Okay, this is Texas. We like freedom and fractions around here. They don't like goddamn fractions over there. So maybe it's just some laws or rules that we don't know about in Austria that he feels are putting his livelihood, his money, his property, or his guns or his knives at stake. That's number one. That's possibility number one. Possibly number two is there are some freaking Australian versions of Karens in his township that are calling the law on him, reporting stuff to their version of City Hall on him. Maybe he has a neighbor that's next to him and they're tired of his shit. That's possibility number two. Okay. Let me give you a story on that. So I live in Collin County, Texas. The hunting lease that I used to have is in Jack County, Jacksboro, Texas, about 2.5 hours away from my house. It was 100 acres. The original owner of the property, it was 300 acres. I put up too many fingers. It was 300 acres. And he sold 200 acres to 2 different families, and he kept 100 for himself. So whenever we would go out there to hunt, he still lived there, right? He just sold 200 acres. And when we would go out there, his name was Wayne, RIP to Wayne. He died. We would go out there. He would be riding on his John Deere butt naked in a robe. I guess, are you butt naked if you got a robe on? But the robe will be open. You know what I'm saying? Family jewels just out, rocking out with the goddamn cock out. Okay. But he's on his 100 acres of property. Mind you, we're on our 100 acres hunting. We can see the freaking Johnson and Balls because he's rolling by saying, hey. Now, Wayne had a couple of screws loose. He would go out there and check hog traps in his underwear and boots. He had a little 6mm he would use to put down bucks, and he would go start carving them out. So, but did we reflexively call the law? No. That's just Wayne did weird shit. That's just what we knew, right? But I don't know if it's a similar situation, right? If you have the 100 acres next to JoeX, are you used to his shenanigans? And then are you one of those people that he mentioned moving from the city to the country, and all of a sudden you're clutching your pearls and you're calling the law? I don't know. So number one, I think it's some type of rule or law or something like that. You know, I saw Scab's videos, SD42. I saw his videos, and I don't know. The next one I think it could be YouTube. I think it could be YouTube, and people reporting to YouTube different content. For instance, I did a live stream yesterday. You may notice that my live stream's not available. It's gone. I deleted the shit. I didn't even hide it because there's so many stupid, I say stupid because this is my opinion. There's so many stupid and nuanced rules on YouTube when it comes to guns that sometimes I forget them. For instance, in a live stream, you cannot handle a gun. You can't transport it or handle it. Handling it means I pull it out, I show you it's unloaded, I show you some features I like about it. You can't do that on a live stream, but on a regular video, like a video on demand that you see on these boomstick channels, you can do that. Seemed a little nonsensical to me, right? Well, the live stream I had yesterday, my Saturday night special was hosted the entire time. But as soon as my live stream was over, a big YouTuber reached out to me. He has over 300,000 subscribers. He emailed me. He was like, hey, X, I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but you technically may have been handling that gun. You might want to get rid of that live stream. I was like, oh my God, you're right. You're right. I deleted it. Could something similarly? Now, he emailed me directly, but what if there was a hater out there that reports my video? Could he have the same issue? Did he get a strike and he decided, let me just pump my brakes because I don't want any more effing strikes? Because you got to remember, if someone reports your video on YouTube, and YouTube's review process is 24 hours a day. It's not just Americans that review your process. So say, for instance, someone reviewed my live stream from yesterday about me handling that gun. It could have been some 19-year-old newbie in India, the country, who's reviewing to see, did I violate YouTube's policy? He's just going to pull up the policy. Let's see. Did he handle a gun? That looks like a gun. He handled it. And I could have gotten in trouble. It may not be an American who knows what the word handling means. Maybe it was that. To SD42's point, you know, Scab said that his commanding officer told him he has to stop. What I got from everything is that he has a bunch of Karens that live next to him that are complaining. I saw the same thing, but I've watched videos of JoeX where he said that he's like their equivalent of a vet. So is he like a reservist? Like, what is he, right? Because I still got my uniform. Now I'm pleasantly plump, right? I'm about two biscuits away. So my uniforms in the Marine Corps won't quite fit. I can probably squeeze into my camis, but you know, my blues and my alphas, it's not gonna happen. But in theory, and I got fucking dreads. You know I'm no longer active duty, but you know what could be the thing? So first off, I believe his videos are not deleted. I think they're hidden. I do YouTube, and when I see stuff like the playlist still exists and they say hidden, they're hidden. He didn't delete his videos. That's number one. So that means that this could be similar to what happened a year ago. A year ago, he hid his videos again. He hid his videos as well. So it's kind of like, are we in the same boat? This is my takeaway, okay? Whether you're a supporter of JoeX, Marine X, any other YouTuber, remember that we are people and we do dumb shit sometimes, okay? So as it stands today, February 6, 2024, I support JoeX, but I reserve the right to scrutinize if we find out more. No one's above reproach. If you guys find out I'm doing some crazy shit, you reserve the right to scrutinize me. I just don't want people to reflexively go all in on JoeX like he's player one in a video game and you just want him to succeed no matter what. Don't treat him like a movie and the plot needs him to be the winner at the end. I want him to be the winner, but if we find out during the goddamn movie that some icky shit was going on, I want you to think about that. It's just something to think about, man. I think that as I saw a lot of videos popping up, I didn't really feel reflexively the desire to do a video, like a normal video, and pump it out there, because I knew that my thoughts were going to be a little bit longer. I mean, I've been out here running my grade for over 40 minutes, so I thought this might be better to doing a live stream and let people watch it on demand. But I think that I want you guys to take that into consideration. Austria rules, township haters, YouTube, or maybe his military command. I think it's one of those four. That's my thoughts. We shall see. But what do you guys think, man? Comment, put some comments in there. Let me know what like some of your thoughts are. Like, what are you thinking in regards to some of the things that may have happened? And yeah, I just hope he comes back. I hope he comes back. I hope that whatever is happening locally with him is get resolved. I hope, me personally, what I would like for it to be, I would like for it to be a hater locally, that he's not breaking any rules and he gets to shit on them by using his guns as much as he wants. That's what I would like. I would like for him to come back in a week, be like, all right, this is what happened. There were some haters that were reporting me to the local municipality. I stopped what I was doing for a while because I didn't want to continue using my guns on my property, or I didn't want to continue running around with no shirt on. I didn't want to continue wearing a gas mask. I don't want to and I found out that I was right. So in celebration, we're going to go shoot 7 knives. I want that to happen. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So Nas Elias here saying, what's up? Good. What up, my guy? God bless you as well, man. Appreciate you kicking the goddamn door in. Just got here. We'll watch the replay to see what I missed. Yeah, I was just kind of shooting this shit for a second. Make sure you hit that goddamn like button. I appreciate that, Pitman. Win. We appreciate that. Semper Fire. Appreciate you kicking the door in, man. I seen you out there playing Rake, playing Call of Duty. Now, Zaz says, at first I thought it was a loser tube because years of back Nut Fancy was that's right. Nut Fancy was demonetized on his gun videos thanks to Butt Hurt Fat. Now here's the thing. Gun YouTubers have these like webs they have to weave. You're like they have all these webs they have to weave, because you may notice that a lot of gun YouTubers don't do a lot of live streams, and if they do, they don't handle guns because it's like weird things they have to do. And then when their videos on demand, they can use guns in a certain way, but you cannot use an automatic gun. At least you can use it, but that video is going to be instantly demonetized. You may notice that a lot of gun tubers have Patreons because they need support. If you want a gun tuber to put out a video where they put down 600 rounds of ammo in a 10-minute video for you to watch and digest, do you know how much ammo is? Yes, they have Patreons for stuff like that. And so I can understand why you may shut that type of stuff down. Simplify seems fair for those different points. And I think that hopefully people watch this on demand. Hopefully people comment and just kind of use a little bit of forethought. And I only say that because I had that personal experience with my neighbor Wayne. Wayne rocking out with his cock out on a John Deere tractor from the late 1940s. We didn't call the law on him, but I could see a new neighbor running in there. Let's just say, for instance, Wayne did make videos in his underwear, right? And somebody decided they were going to call the law on Wayne. Wayne might come on video one day and say, you know what, guys? I'm going to chill out on these videos. I can't be me. Someone's blackmailing me. Now, also, you got to remember, for JoeX, English is not his first language. He speaks it well. He was even shitting people on the video saying that they don't speak English. But he said he speaks Spanish, he speaks English. But when he uses those words, I don't want to take him literally, because I am giving him the benefit of the doubt that he may not be putting the English language together that makes sense to us. By blackmail, what he really could mean is someone keeps calling the law on me. I don't think that's blackmail. I just think it's a snitch, right? But in his mind, he may say they're blackmailing me. And we all over here in the States are like, oh my God, he's getting blackmailed? What? Glockland for S&M. Yeah, I'm looking at my boomstick now. I've already de-armed for the day. It's a Saturday night special by Smith & Wesson. Iowa is pretty relaxed with firearm laws too. Yeah, a lot of municipalities are relaxed. They get really stringent in the cities. Like when I was in the Quad Cities in Iowa, ain't no way I'm in the Quad Cities in Iowa freaking rattling off rounds. That's not going to happen, right? When I had to go there for work. But as soon as I got in the country, it felt like Texas. It says, Duck Butter says, I think Joe went too hard and scared a few people. I think that I do think it's a local issue. I really do, because if it was a YouTube issue, he would not have been able to post another video. Think about that. Imagine me getting a strike on my channel, and it shuts my channel down. I'm gone. And if I come back, I'm doing what's called ban evading, which is ban evasion. So I can create another YouTube email and come back to YouTube and try to create another video. That's called ban evading. So I don't think he's ban evading, because they would have shut his channel down. JoeX would have been completely eradicated from the Google servers. So I think it's something that's local. It would be way better if we didn't have leftist traders from within pushing any anti-liberty gun laws. Yeah, I believe that to a certain extent, some gun laws make sense, right? I particularly don't think that there should be Tommy guns running around. Because I don't intend to own a Tommy gun, right? And so if someone comes at me with a Tommy gun, I'm gonna be outmatched. All the fastest round thing I got is like AR-10, AR-15, 22 platform AR, and I don't think folks should be running around with goddamn nades, right? So some things make sense, but for him to live in Austria, to be in the European Union, to have the most liberal of gun laws is just crazy to me. Do you think they may have violated any knife laws? Some European countries are on slip joint, from what I understand, Duck Butter says. I could see that, right? I could see the point when you say, could he violated any knife laws? But the thing about that is, like, Austria has such incredible gun laws. Could you imagine me being in Texas, where we have pretty good gun laws here, like the knife laws being more strict? Like for me personally, I carry fixies pretty often, and I might carry a fixie specifically. My favorite to carry is a Montana Knife Company, the Black Sheep, and it's like a 3.5 inch knife. I don't have any issues with it. I don't care about out the front knives, automatic knives. I don't sweat it. So I don't imagine that Austria would have these freaking liberal, good ass gun laws, and then at the same time have these crazy laws about full tang knives. And the thing about that, another reason I kind of draw pause at that is that he was on his property. So even if they have knife laws, right, can you not have whatever side? Because by that logic, you couldn't have kitchen knives, because if he walked out of his house with a kitchen knife, he would be violating a knife law. I don't think that would make sense. I would hope it wouldn't make sense. That would be kind of crazy. He was brutally honest, says SM. I would concur with that. Says, think it's about him running around naked with gas mask on, but his business I'm not watching. But that's his business. I'm not watching that video. Yeah, so he used to run around. He trained. He was big on training himself for any type of. He did Ironmans, he said. So he would train with a gas mask on. I don't know why you need to be naked for an Ironman, but I don't care how you train on your property. I really don't. I don't care how you train on your property. Just like I didn't care how Wayne was. I particularly was not a fan of 67-year-old Wayne, you know what I'm saying, with his freaking, you know, Johnson rusting on his scrotum. And, you know, but that was his prerogative. I wasn't out there to for anything like that. We got flat earthers as well. I can concur with that, man. It's just a lot of people who just think different things. There are a ton of YouTube haters that will report stuff too. Yeah, see, the thing is when you get stuff reported on YouTube, like, you have an opportunity to contest it. People have reported some of my stuff on YouTube, and what happens is, let's say somebody puts up a community strike or a copyright claim. So someone community strike my best damn EDC video. They tried to community strike it for bullying. It was reviewed by YouTube. It was denied. But whenever they put a community strike up, the person who puts it up, if it's a copyright, they have to disclose their email, their name. So that way, if I want to sue them, I can. But if it's a community strike, they don't disclose all that stuff. So if he had a community strike, he could have just contested it and continued to post videos. But if he was nervous that the strike was going to stick, he may have just been like, fuck it, I'm out of here. So it really just depends. Mike and Ike's EDC says, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, it's I think that the me being, and it's a lot of YouTubers who are like around my age or older, but I just really want, like, the person who I think had the most nuanced view. I watched a lot of videos, Shed Knives, a lot of them, but the person who I think had the most nuanced views was Neve's Knives. I watched his live stream. And he seemed to be just like, I've reached out to him. I told him that I'm supporting him and I'm out here to help him. And I'm just here to learn more. You know why Neves has that mentality? Because Neves has been in some shit. You know what I'm saying? Neves, for me personally, he has the reflexive response to, like, wait a second to see if someone is like bullshitting him. But he's still going to support you, right? Like one of my cousins used to do prostitution. I knew she was out there hoeing. I seen the shoes. I would see her getting in people's cars. And she lied to me and told me she wasn't doing it anymore, but I didn't have any proof. So when she came to me, she needed money. She said she was trying to buy some clothes. I had the same response as Needs. I support you. Here's some money. Let me know if I can do anything to help you. But I still had a little bit of reservation. Then I found out that she was out there still slanging that coochie, and I had an issue, right? So I just kind of believe that you kind of just kind of like draw pause before you reflexively just go all in with one specific position. Mike and I says, never watched any of his videos, don't know anything about him other than what you told us today. Yeah, that's why I wanted to break down kind of like who he was. And he really, listen, his videos of him torture testing knives are fantastic. They're great. I think that they if anything, they're at a minimum at least entertaining. Okay, even if you have no, you know what I'm saying, even if you have no intention of ever buying that knife, you know, you can always just kind of check it out to see, is it something that you might want to
Okay, so this video I'm going to talk about the famous JoeX. Now, love him or hate him, you've got to admit that this dude is pretty hilarious. So, what I would compare JoeX to is almost like AK Operators Union used to be when they first started dragging AKs and doing stuff like that, you know, doing destructive testing.
So that's just like a taste of what Joe would do. You see that shit? Like, I'm assuming that's limestone, because there ain't no way a knife, that has to be limestone. I don't know what knife is going to be chopping through a rock like that. But anyways, that's the type of stuff that he would do, Mike and Ike's. You know, so for me personally, I didn't reflexively watch every single video, but I would check them out every now and again. I thought some of them were interesting to watch. For me, YouTube is TV, so he was a TV channel for me. You know what I'm saying? The video of him destroying that work tough heiress should be watched by everyone insane. Yeah, I saw that video. Hold on, what did you buy, Bronny? I purchased the Leatherman Signal today. I liked it. Here's the issue I have with the Signal. Is like I have the mutts, so I just feel like I don't need the Signal, but I like the Signal, especially all the color choices that you can get. You can get it completely customized. Jonathan says, right, I hear a lot from Brandon Herrera talking about his videos demonetized because of the use of old machine guns or his use of auto AKs. Yeah, you can use them on YouTube, but yeah, 100%. You won't get monetized. Denna Tools, appreciate you kicking the goddamn door in. YouTube will demonetize me for showing my guns and shadow ban me for just talking about them, but they just contacted me to ask me to ask for alcohol and gambling. Like, what the yeah, so it's crazy because some of my live streams I don't enable ads. I just don't even thinking about it, but YouTube will contact you like, hey, you know, we want to put your content out to further people, but it needs to be, you know, it needs to be monetized so that they can do stuff like that. So interesting. The yes, Rocky, thanks for stopping by, sir. Thanks for being a goddamn member. We appreciate that, man. Unentitled American says, what do you think about the Eberlin stock bags versus the bags for EDC camping and shit hits the fan? So Unentitled American, Eberlin stock sent me the jackknife. I'm testing it out. I've been rucking it. I've been using it as a bug out bag. Here's my initial thoughts. If you just need to get my thoughts and get up out of here. I don't like the aesthetics for EDC. I'm like, the further I get away from the Marine Corps, the less tactical looking I like my bags to be. The Eberlin stock jackknife is a little bit too hikey looking, tactical looking for me. Doesn't have Molly on the outside, so it's not really tactical, but it does feel like a hiking bag. And I want my EDC bag to feel, I want to blend in with folks. Like, I want it to have curves and defined lines and stuff like that. So it doesn't work for me for an EDC bag, but for camping and SHTF, whether it be bug out or get home, 100%, I can recommend the jackknife. It feels comfortable. So far, I've only put about 7 miles on rucking, and the bag weighs 40 pounds the way I have it loaded out. Super comfortable compared to my Go Rucks. That's the errors that he cut with the block. Okay, yeah. It says, I don't agree, my friend, and Neves, that is. Oh, you talking about what Neves take? Yeah, Neves live stream, he it was nuanced. I mean, he talked about a lot of his past as well, but I think that overall, that I like overall premise of where he was going. I kind of like where he was going with that. Have I bought the Microtech MSI yet? No, I haven't bought a Microtech, mainly because they're expensive, right? And I got a gravity knife, which is not the same thing, but I got a couple of gravity knives, and they were so like similar to the out the front action, just like kind of quell that feeling that I might have wanted to have with it. And when I got that, I was like, maybe this is all I needed in regards to feeling the need to have a out the front knife. Am I still probably gonna think about picking it up? Yeah, probably so. So but yeah, man, I just hope that JoeX, if you're out here, the message I have for you, sir, is I know you were very appreciative of the support you got in that video, and I think that one thing I would say about that 39-minute video that I watched, the one thing I would say is throughout the entire video, unless I missed it, someone please correct me in the comments or in chat now, I heard you admit nothing. You admitted fault to nothing, and that may be okay. But what I mean by that is, if there was anything wrong or anything that you could have done different or anything that you did violate, and it comes out in the future, I would have loved for you to talk about it during that video, whether it be a local rule or whatever, you know. And I heard a lot of like how much money you got, how many languages you speak, and your ability to just freaking pull chalks and get the hell up out of there. I heard a lot of that. but I didn't really hear anything about the just kind of what could have been done different. And hopefully we get more out of that. With the 199 super chat, did you ever watch the Wrangler Star? He got me into YouTube. No, I did not. But where's my pen? I'll write it down. The fact that I've never heard of it leads me to believe I need to look it up. And I'm saying no, I did not. But now I'm going to look it up. And that will give me a chance to see if I'm wrong. And maybe I have watched it before. So I'll check that out. I would definitely check that out, Jamie. I appreciate that. But yeah, man, those are my thoughts in regards to JoeX. I guess to answer the question, what side am I on? Right now, I'm on the side of JoeX, but I'm ultimately on the side of just like transparency. And right now, Joe, I'm loving the sauce that you're giving me. So I'm behind you. You know what I'm talking about? I hope to have you back, being able to just have a creative outlet. That seemed to be your creative outlet. It's hooking up your GoPros and freaking going to town on some damn knives. And I hope you have that opportunity to do that. And just know that we're out here making it happen for you, man. If this is the first time that y'all ever kicked the door in, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you a part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, then, thank you for once again stopping by and watching me run my grape. Guys, keep your eyes out for videos coming in the future. My full EDC rundown will be here soon. We will speak soon.